Joining us by Skype from the U.S. state of Virginia is Clint Van Zandt. He served with the FBI for 25 years as a profiler and was also the agency's chief hostage negotiator. Clint, thank you so much for joining us. You know, investigators are still trying to piece together this shooter's profile, the motive or motives behind the shooting, Islamic extremism, homophobia, self-loathing. What do you see and how would you profile this man?
Well, number one, you're right, Elaine. This is, as you suggest, a very complex situation, but most of us have motives that serve more than one purpose. And, you know, we also know that the shooter attempted to become a police officer within the last year. He was turned down. He brought his father to try to speak for him, and he was still turned down. And, you know, I've heard some suggest, too, that this conflict that was going on within him, perhaps his religious beliefs and then the lifestyle that he was participating in on the internet and going to the same bar that he shot this up, this may have finally erupted within him, where I guess maybe Sigmund Freud might tell us he was so upset at himself and the conflict within him that he wanted to destroy that conflict, and perhaps in a last great show of religious fervor struck out against that bar, against what he may believe was negative, but was really part of him also.
And you touched on it a moment ago. How does someone go from wanting to protect people as a security guard to killing dozens of people? This also ended in a hostage situation. Talking about that, do you think authorities waited too long to breach that building, that Pulse nightclub?
Yeah, two good questions. Number one, it used to be we'd see a lengthy period of time between the time an individual is first exposed to some type of radical ideology and when he actually acts out. But now some people call it the flash bang theory, that realization can come and they can act out very quickly. Number two, on your question, and I hear this a lot, did police wait too long while people were in there bleeding out and dying? The reality is they received information that, number one, the shooter himself said he had 3 other snipers outside, plus a woman with a bomb vest. He also indicated he had 3 bomb vests wrapped around a hostage, and he was going to blow that up when police came in. I think police, in that terrible decision-making time, they made the decision, we have to wait, we have to understand what we're going with. We can go in and try to save 1, 10, 12 lives, or if he blows the place up, we'll lose hundreds. I think they had to make that terrible decision. There was no right answer, but I think they made the best answer with the information they had.
And this, of course, has reignited the gun debate in this country. The shooter was a security guard, as we mentioned. He passed a background check to purchase weapons, but he had been on the FBI's radar at some point. How difficult is it to keep track of every single person who draws suspicion of the FBI? Do you think that there was maybe some sort of breakdown or disconnect somewhere? Talk to us about what this agency has to go through on a daily basis.
Yeah, Elaine, you know, one of the biggest challenges is not necessarily putting people on the list. It's in reality getting people off that list. There are so many people who, for whatever the reason, similar last name, similar date of birth, wind up on that. And there are tens of hundreds of complaints of people who try to get taken off. Now, of course, the issue comes up, should there be an asterisk behind one's name? If you came up in an FBI investigation, they had no information to suggest you were a terrorist at that time, should we still have a little asterisk? So someone like this guy, who maybe 2, 3, 5 years later goes out and buys a weapon, at that time, do we want, in the United States, do we want the FBI going out interviewing a U.S. citizen and saying, why are you buying a gun 5 years after the last time we talked to you? It's going to be a challenge, but I think it has to be reconciled. There may well be a reason to put that asterisk as we in the States continue to balance safety, security, and liberty.
All right, Clint Van Zandt, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
If you like what you just saw, follow us on social media and visit our website, CCTV-America.com.